Welcome to this Fundamentals Lesson Plan series on building documentation, sections, and views. In this video, we'll take a look at adding notes to the previous detail view that we created in the earlier exercise. This is video 4 of 9. My name is John Harridge, and I will be your host for today's lesson. Let's look at the learning objectives for video 4. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to add notes with leaders to a detail view and also use alignment snaps to keep notes in a vertical alignment. With that, let's get started. Let's begin this exercise by opening up an existing exercise file. Go ahead and click Open. Navigate to your tutorial directory. And let's open up the Project Building Documents Exercise 04. So the purpose of this exercise is to add annotations to this view, and keep in mind that text is view specific, so it only appears in this view and not any other view. And as an instructor only demo, let me show you what the end product is that we're working towards. So just hang on here and let me give you a preview of where we're headed. So I just quickly created a drafting view, and I'm going to import the image that represents the final result that we are going to work towards. So I'm bringing in the image. I'll go ahead and place it and zoom to fit. And so you'll see the text on the right hand side of the detail. These are all the call outs that we will be placing in this detail view for this exercise. So with that, let me get back to the section view. And then please join with me at this point. So we'll begin the process by selecting the text style that we want to work with. But before we do that, let's make some view property changes. So in the Properties palette, scroll down until you find in the Extents area Crop Region Visible and Annotation Crop. And go ahead and please unmark those two. So again, Annotation Crop, that's the model crop region, and then the -1 was the annotation crop region. So again, in the Properties palette, we're going to go ahead and unmark those so that we can place text cleanly without anything getting cut off in the view, so to speak. So I've unmarked those. Go ahead and click Apply. And now we just have a clean detail view. All right, so let me zoom in and pan a little bit here. Let's begin in the Annotate tab. Let's go into the text panel and go ahead and start the text placement tool. In the Properties palette, let's just confirm which text style we're using. Let's go ahead and select 3/32 of an inch architectural text. And what that means is that text style represents the printed text height at the 1.5 inch equals a foot scale that the view is assigned to. Let's go ahead and set up the text properties. So under the Format panel, let's make sure that the 2 segments mode is enabled. And then for the justification of the leaders, top left and bottom right, depending on which side the text appears on from those leaders. Next step is to go ahead and begin the workflow. Let's go ahead and call out the cedar lap siding. So left click to place the first leader segment. And again, you can drag that endpoint anywhere you want for the interim segment. Let's go ahead and left click approximately here. and then drag off to the right to create the second segment, and left click to set the endpoint of that. And so for entering in text, you'll see that next to your cursor is the text field box. Go ahead and type in red cedar, lap siding, hyphen 4 inches, weathering. This is only single line text. To move and proceed on creating a new line of text in a different location, just left click once to accept that current text string. And let's go ahead and call out the exterior grade plywood sheathing. So go ahead and left click to start the leader. And you can use the green alignments to align with the other midpoint and endpoint of the leaders previously created. Let's go ahead and enter in 3/4 of an inch exterior grade plywood sheathing. Again, left click and space to accept that text string and create a new one. Let's go ahead and call out the fiberglass bat insulation. This will be 3.5 inch fiberglass bat insulation hyphen R13. Left click in space to accept that. Let's go ahead and call out the vapor barrier just to the inside face of the gypsum wallboard. Type in 5 mil vapor retarder. Okay, left click to accept that string. Let's go ahead and call out the gypsum wallboard. Let's give it the label of 5/8 of an inch, GWB as an abbreviation, hyphen type X. Left click to accept that field. Next, let's call out the 2x4 studs. Go ahead and enter 2x4 wood studs at 16 inches on center. Left click to accept and create a new string. Next, we'll call out the baseboard. Go ahead and tag the baseboard. Let's give it the label of 1x4 paint grade baseboard. Next, let's call out the plywood substrate. Let's go ahead and enter in 1 inch tongue and groove plywood deck. Next, let's start the next call out in the joist cavity. Let's call this out as 2x10 wood rim joist. And this one will actually make this as a 2-line field. So once you get to the end of the first line, go ahead and hit the enter key to create a second line beneath it. So hit the enter key at this point to create another line of text that's grouped with the first line. And let's go ahead and enter the value of 2x10 wood joists at 16 inches on center. Just like before, left click and space to accept that and to move on to another call out. Let's go ahead and call out the 2x10 sill plate. Go ahead and enter 2x10 pressure treated wood sill plate continuous. Next, let's call out the anchor bolt. Go ahead and type in 3/8 of an inch by 8 inches, galvanized anchor bolt at 30 inches on center. And let's just pan down on the screen a little bit. The last call out will be for the concrete foundation wall. Just pick a point inside the wall. Go ahead and enter in 8-inch concrete foundation wall. Hyphen, and then hit the enter key to create a second line underneath it. Let's go ahead and enter in C, structural drawings for details. Go ahead and left click and space to accept that text string. Go ahead and click modify to end the text placement tool. Again, if there was any need to make adjustments, you could click and drag the shape handles to get the text exactly where you want it positioned. This concludes this exercise. Let's go ahead and save the file as. Let's give it the name Building Documents Exercise 4, finished. This concludes this exercise. Let's go ahead and take a look at next steps. Let's review the learning objectives for video 4. In this lesson, you were able to add notes with leaders to a detail view and then use alignment snaps to keep the text aligned in a vertical plane. With that, let's go ahead and take a look at Autodesk resources that are available to you. I would like to make you aware of 2 Autodesk resources. The first resource is the Autodesk Education Community, where you can access free software for both students and educators for titles like Autodesk Revit featured in this series. The website address is www.students.autodesk.com. Registration is required to access the free software using either your personal email address or your school-issued email address. The second resource is the Autodesk Digital STEAM Workshop. It's hands-on, project-based learning across multiple industries such as architecture, engineering, and entertainment. The website address is www.digitalsteam.autodesk.com. Registration is required to download the free learning resources using your Autodesk ID created from the Autodesk Education Community. You will find the Fundamentals of Architecture series under the Subject pull-down menu, Architecture link. Assets include step-by-step instructions, datasets, and videos. This concludes this lesson overview summary. Thank you for watching.